Hi, welcome to Wisecat. Okay, so today, Happy New Year. First of all, New Year, new shirt, and also new topic. We're going to be talking a lot more about security in the next coming weeks as I get more videos out. And to start off today, I'm going to actually be explaining to you a couple of plugins that are probably the most dangerous ones that you could install. They're dangerous especially because they're intended only for administrator use and they're not intended to be left on a system for any length of time. Actually, the first one is Moodle Adminer, and that's a really useful one for adjusting the SQL database, especially if you get that message in the performance overview that says that it's schema is incorrect or something. You can correct the schema fairly quickly and easily using the Moodle Adminer plugin. But you can also do so much more with it, and I'll show you a couple of the risks associated with running that one. The second one that I'm going to introduce you is WebShell, Moodle WebShell. And in the recent months, I've actually seen a lot of an increase, well, I've observed an increase anyway, in people targeting WebShell, Moodle WebShell as a way of attacking servers. So this is something that if you probably want to check to make sure that it's not on your Moodle system, and if it is, you want to get rid of it straight away and actually probably shut down the server and do some forensics and check out what has actually been accessed on your server, because it's, as I said, dangerous. This one ends up allowing a hacker potentially to actually get access to everything on the server. So in a future video also, I'd like to actually discuss the sort of a cat and mouse kind of a game that these two plugins actually enable, but and how to defend against those. Please watch out for that one. Like and subscribe, and get your notifications up so that when that comes out as well, you definitely get the word. So without any further ado, let's get into it. So I'm bringing up my Moodle test Moodle now, and boom, I'll shrink myself down as I usually do. Okay, so here we have a test Moodle. It is a Moodle instance of Moodle 4.5. I'm just going to log in here, boom, and it is a fresh install. So, yep, ain't nothing in here that's gone wrong yet, but we're about to change that. So you can see in my plugins overview, I currently have no plugins installed. Now the first one we're going to look at is Moodle Adminer. And Moodle Adminer allows you to check the SQL database and basically edit the SQL database. You can just download it from the moodle.org/plugin/local-adminer. Link in the description below. So let's go and install this plugin. Go to install plugins, because I have this one set to allow direct. Oh, I'm not allowed to go from RAM. That sucks. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gonna put these in a different location so that my web browser has access to them. Excuse me for a moment. Doop-de-doop-doo. Yep. Admin is the one we want to do first. Whoop. Come on. Admin. Whoa, okay. My drag and drop's not working here for some reason. Let's try to refresh that. There we go. There we go. Okay. Drag and dropped. Dragged, dropped, and yep. Well, that looks beautiful. Moodle Adminer coming in. Now, Adminer has this other cool thing where in the settings, it'll allow a quick link to appear in the top right-hand side, and you can start it straight away as soon as it's clicked, but I'll just leave that for no for now. And you can see up here in the top right-hand corner, I have this little database link now, and that actually links directly to Moodle Adminer. That only shows up for admins. But if I go to server, and in here there's also Moodle Adminer, there's the link, and that'll take me to the same place as this link up here. Anyway, I'll pop that open, and you can see that I have an admin secret set for this server. Now, I definitely would recommend, if you're going to run it, you should definitely, in your config.php, you should definitely have this. This is one of the security protections that you should have. And I'll show you in a few minutes about how this can actually be gotten rid of with WebShell. But if I go nano config.php, If you're going to use Moodle Adminer, I really recommend adding a password here. So you can see here, mine's super secret. Choose a better password. But in here, if you add this local adminer secret, then in order to open Adminer, you need to type in that password. So I now know it's super secret. Let's see, did I type that right? And I typed it correctly. And now I can come in here and I am logged in as a Moodle user on a Debian server. Yep, you can see a lot of information there. I'm using Postgres at the moment. I thought I was using MariaDB. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because they were all pretty similar here. But in here you can see that I can go into my database schema and I can see my tables. And let's say if I want to change something, I might want to go into, say, mod forum, MDL forum, and I will change something here. Let's say if this form's out of whack, I might go alter table, and I might just go down here, integer. I'll just allow null on completion discussions, right? And I'm just going to save this. Now, unfortunately, the save button and the drop button for drop table are right next to each other, but do not make the mistake and click drop when you mean to click save. Remember what I said about dangerous? You know, this is dangerous. So I'm enabling a null value for completion discussions, which otherwise should not allow null to happen. So that table's been altered and things like that. So that's how easily you can get in, and it's sort of a bit PHP MyAdmin, but you can get in and you can alter the tables in the database very easily, quickly, and efficiently. Right, now that alteration's not really going to break anything. It's not going to destroy anything. But when I come over here to the site administration, you can see when is a time when you might want to have Moodle Adminer on hand. And this is the sort of use case that you can use. Is when you come into site administrations and under reports, in the performance overview, if we look at this performance overview, you'll see, ooh, I have an error here. And this error here is saying database schema check. Database schema is not aligned. This is very common actually in Moodles where you've got where they've been running for a long time, and in particular if you've got some plugins that have been updated and over time the database requirements have changed for that plugin. Now if it's something like a block or something where you can just uninstall and reinstall or something like that, that's fine enough. You can actually fix the plugins like that. But another way is to actually come into this database schema check in the performance overview, and it will actually tell you, it's telling me here, oh, forum here, the column completion discussions, that column should be not null. It should not be allowing null values. And so remember, just before I actually went into Moodle Adminer and deliberately broke this so that I would get this message in this report. But for example, if you came in here and you saw the report and you saw the performance overview, you see database schema check, you might want to fix that. Now, again, bears saying again and again and again, but using Moodle Adminer and fiddling with the database is dangerous. Very, very dangerous. So if you're going to do this sort of stuff, be extremely careful. And I think it was the forum. Wow, I zoomed in, so now it's a little bit harder for me to see. Okay, there it is. Moodle forum there, and we can go in, we can alter table. We can go down here. Here's the completion discussions. It has null selected. Let's remove that and save that table. And now that should have brought our schema back in line. So now if we go back to that page before, the reports page, performance overview, should be all green. And there we go. We have our database schema check is saying, yeah, database schema is correct. We're all good to go. Now, some changes you might not want to correct, actually. On another Moodle, I actually have a constraint added to one table that I definitely do not want to get rid of. So this overview is just alerting you to when the schema is not as the install XML files, the database description files, it's not aligned. That's all it's saying. It's not necessarily saying that something is in terrible need of immediate fixing or something. It's just saying, hey, it's not exactly as per the design. Okay, so that's the useful thing of the Moodle Adminer. Now, you might remember that I said, you add a password, and that asked me for the password. So it's actually remembering that I gave it the password before, and that'll actually reset every time I log in. So if I log out and log back in again, and now go to Moodle Adminer, it's going to ask me for that admin secret again. Well, let's suppose I'm an admin and I've forgotten my admin secret and I don't know it and I don't have shell access, but I need shell access to change the admin secret or to look inside of my config.php and find this super secret. So, well, I can actually view this super secret, or I can even just delete it. How? Well, I don't have shell access. Well, I can use a WebShell for that. So that's where we're going to go over to the second dangerous plugin of the day. Whoa, and now I'm going to need to find where I put that plugin. So yeah, so let's get out of this. Let's get out of, well, that one can close. And let's go into Site Administration, Plugins, and install the second dangerous plugin. And the second dangerous plugin is a Moodle WebShell plugin. Sorry, let's double check this. Local WebShell. Yeah, it's going to be the file names. Sorry, I've got two actually downloaded here, and I just want to get the right one. Here we go. Okay, installing local WebShell. Boom, 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 and there it is. All right, so let's see. My server meets all requirements. We install the plugin just like any other plugin, and boom, local WebShell is successfully installed now. Now, again, I can't really think of a use case scenario where this would actually be a good thing to have on your server, and I definitely do not recommend having a WebShell of any kind in here yeah, it just seems like a really bad idea. So now if I go to server, I also have, in the server tab, I have this WebShell here. And if I click on WebShell, I don't think I put any defenses up against this, but let's have a look. So you can see I've got a sort of a prompt happening here. And and this box is actually the shell. That's the command line. So now if I go ls, then you can see I can see the files in this directory, and it's saying that my pwd, my present working directory, is /sv Moodle www local WebShell. That's the folder we're in. We don't have to stay there, of course not. We can cd ... and go up another layer. It doesn't actually do the up arrow thing, which is something that I forget about a lot. But now you can see I'm in the actual root of the Moodle's www root. That's where I am. And so now I'm in here, and I'm here as the web server user, www data. So now what I can do here is I can go cat, I think cat will work, config, and even tab works. So there you go. You can see the tab doesn't give you an autocomplete, but it does actually prompt you to say what's there. And I can do cat config.php, and there you go. Now I can see my Moodle admin super secret. So even if you haven't given that local admin a password to somebody, because you're saying, hey, you shouldn't have this ability, you shouldn't have this admin a secret, well, now guess what? I've got it. But wait, it gets even worse than that. Because, for example, if I open inside administration in another screen, there is another report here. Let's have a look at this. Security checks. Now, well, I thought I made this writable by PHP. Well, let's test this. Okay, if your config.php is writable, you can add a command, and I've actually pre-prepared it. You can add a command that will edit, there we are, that can edit the config PHP and get rid of this line. So let me see if I've actually got that right. So here's the command. I'm basically just using sed script editor on pretty much any Linux system that's going to exist. look for the line with local adminer in it and delete that line. That's what this does. And look in this file. Right. So if I run that, let's see what happens. Now let's see if I cat config config.php. Let's see. And at the bottom of that file, you can actually see that yeah, there's nothing there. There's no the line here that was loading up that adminer secret is now gone. Right? So this is the sort of thing that your WebShell and your Moodle Adminer can be used to actually, your WebShell can be used to grant access to the adminer to people who you don't want to have access to. See what I mean by these are dangerous plugins, all right? There's actually a good defense against that though, and I'll show you the defense in a few minutes. Yeah, okay. But now what that means is that this is the web shell that has allowed us access to get back in. So now if we go back into the server, we'll be able to get into Moodle Adminer without a password. It didn't ask me for a password. If I log out, log back in, log in, and go to site administration, and go server, and go Moodle Adminer, and it's letting me straight in without asking me for a password again. Right? So that super secret password is now completely gone. All right, it gets kind of worse because, of course, if I can edit config.php, I could change the... I could remove the database credentials. I could delete the Moodle, basically. I can remove everything. So let's see. Okay, I'll tell you what. How about local adminer, the Moodle adminer code? Let's delete that code. We'll just remove it, right? Because we can easily do that. We just go in here, go into a web shell, cd local, because that's where the plugin is. If we ls in there, you can see that admin is there. And if I just do rm-rf adminer, right? And that deletes the adminer code. If I do another ls, you can see adminer is now missing from here. So, and if it's not adminer, if it's something else, anything that the web server user has write access to can be overwritten by WebShell. That's how dangerous this is, all right? So now if I go to my plugins overview or something, it's going to say, hey, something's weird. And it's going to say, now, look at that, missing from disk. Adminer is missing from disk. Well, you know, upgrade the Moodle database and tell the Moodle that it's missing. Okay, now it knows it's missing. But now if I go to plugins overview, and if I go missing from disk, you can see that this one's still missing from disk. And I would have to re-download this again, re-upload it again, and things like that. So this kind of havoc can be had. But wait, it even gets worse, right? So we've already demonstrated that WebShell can be used to attack a Moodle by just, imagine if I just go cd space ... And I can go here, let's see, ls, let's find something else. Right? I could just delete this entire directory actually. Right? And while I have write access to the config.php and everything, absolutely everything would go on this server. If I just go cd space ... even, and then just go rm-rf www, right? The whole directory, the whole Moodle install is going to disappear, right? I'm not going to do that one in this video. I'm going to save that one for later. But what I am going to do is destroy the Moodle in a different way. Because we can use the web shell to get access to Moodle Adminer. If we go to our plugins again, and we're going to install plugins. Let's reinstall our adminer code, right? Install from plugin, boom. There's our adminer. It's coming back. It's coming back. All right, and upgrade Moodle database now. So I will destroy this by the end, but actually before I do, I just remembered there's another thing that I'd like to actually show you, which is a little bit again, dangerous. But yeah, I can check for available updates. There probably won't be. Yeah, yay, my code is up to date. And now if I come back to my Moodle plugins, you can see that my plugins overview, I've got none missing from disk. All right, so there's another one, because this is not the only web shell. Right? This is not the only web shell. There are other web shells available out there, and they are also quite dangerous, if not more dangerous. This one, at least, allows administrators, but not really anyone else, to execute commands directly from the Moodle interface. This one over here, that's only available on GitHub, this allows you to do remote code execution without authenticating. So this allows you to run commands from a web browser. Actually, I'll show you that from the web browser. Okay, so I've actually already downloaded this code, so let's go and install it. Ooh, yeah. By the way, this should be saying that it can be. I have a writable config PHP. Oh, there it is. Just had to reload it. By the way, okay, before I install that one as well, this writable config.php is the defense. This is the defense. This is one of the primary defenses anyway against that config.php being edited to remove the password. Doesn't prevent a web shell from seeing the password for Moodle Adminer, but that's one of the things. I deliberately actually undid this writable config PHP. So there we go. Anyway, let's go to the other web, the web shell. Now, this is actually a bit of a nastier one, because I have actually seen this used in the wild to hack a Moodle. So, you know, this is the sort of stuff we've got to defend against. So here we go, Moodle Web Shell plugin. And if I install this plugin, unable to detect the type, this is going to be a local plugin. So local. Yay, big tick mark, yay. Okay. Did that go in? Let's have a look. Plugins. I didn't seem to see anything at the moment. Additional plugins. No. Okay. Let's go. Plugins. Install plugins. Let's try it again. Right. I'm going to say that this is a local. Okay. Local is writable. Install plugin. That's not going in. Intriguing. Probably a good thing that it's not going in. Actually, I'm wondering if that's a 4.5 might be protecting me on this one. Oh, wait a minute. No. I think I know. Just a second. Okay, I'm back here. It took me a little bit of finagling. For some reason, didn't really want to upload directly through the web interface, but that's okay. I just put the code directly in there, and now I've got local Moodle web shell as well. This is this other version of the Moodle web shell. This is not the official one, right? This is the one that's deliberately supposed to be remote code execution, and remote code execution it absolutely is. So if we go back to the instructions on the actual page, and look down here, we can see that, for example, we can go local Moodle web shell PHP, and with action execute and stuff like that. So if we just we can actually do this just by putting this in the browser. So if I go for example here, let's just copy that. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say paste that in at the end there. I'm not going to use oh, that's really copied some example output. That's as far as I need, and I'm not on this particular server, so I'm going to cut that back down to here. So this is it, you know, accessing the path to the actual plugin. Pass it some data. We're passing it the data as action equals exec and cmd equals id, and that's going to come up as 404. Let's try that as a get. File not found. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I think I've got some protections in place for this. Just a sec. Okay, yeah, fixed that problem. The problem was that I actually put the code in the wrong directory. Well, happens. Anyway, because, yeah, I don't do this very often. But anyway, if we actually go to the local Moodle WebShell PHP action equals exec and what our command is, so this is the command ID, then you can see that it's giving us, we are accessing as www data. That's the ID of the WebShell's user. But I could also do, say, ls, and it's going to give me what's in, and you can see that this is actually looking at the root directory of that folder. So I could probably then go, so cat, let's see, cat /srv /Moodle, Moodle /www /config.php. Let's try this one. PHP, and close the quote off, and didn't really give us that. All right, standard out has not really given us that. Well, anyway, config.php not found. Did I? Yeah. Anyway, basically I can run commands. If I wanted to download stuff, he's also got another, you can just download files. So action equals download and stuff like that. So these kinds of attacks that are looking for this code are on the rise, is what I'm seeing. So you need to know how to defend against it. And one of the ways to defend against it is really just look for the word WebShell, for example, in the in any URL that's coming into your server and has a WebShell in the path anywhere. Just block it or give it a 404 or something like that. That way, even if the stuff is installed on your server, you can block it and say no to it. Definitely take a look in your plugins overview and check for it now, because if you see this local Moodle WebShell in, get rid of it, uninstall it, kill it. If it's not there, it can't really be abused. So you can just uninstall it just as you normally would, and then it's gone. And once it's gone, the code's missing, so that plugin, that attack will no longer work. So make sure that it's gone. Make sure also that it can't get there in the first place. So if you can actually, so let's say for that one, yeah, PHP. A little bit surprised that the Moodle hosted 404 page isn't coming up. There's a bit of an issue. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that I was more like what I was expecting. But make sure that it returns a 404. These sorts of dangerous plugins, these really highlight the reason why you need to actually pay attention to the security overview report, right? You need to make sure that you've gone in here. I mean, this stuff that I'm putting out there, you might say, hey, Adam, what are you doing? You're telling the hackers how to hack. No, I'm not. I'm not telling them anything they don't already know. So you need to come in here and you need to look at these security checks, right? These need to be, when you see a warning like that saying your config.php is writable, you need to fix that. Right? So, if I'm actually in here now, if I just, right, if I go cd ... right, change mode, say, okay, 440 config.php, right? Changing permissions not permitted. Okay, I'll sudo that then. Now I've changed the permissions to read and read only. Boom, now I'm okay, right? Now that's protected against a lot of attacks that you can actually do against these Moodles using web shells and using these sorts of things. Just follow the advice that's in the security checks. When it says these insecure private paths, private public paths as well. I'm actually doing a presentation on this one, hopefully in February at the Japan Moodlemoot. See you there. About how these are open to so many places. So many people are not hiding these things. So seriously, go into your security checks, get them right. I've done a video on this topic. I'll put another link in the description below and everything for this. Make sure that you double check this. Keep up to date with the latest as well in terms of how these things are going. Because if these are good, if these are solid, then your defenses are already fairly strong. Security in this respect, this is why I was wondering about doing this video, how to actually do this video properly, because security is not an all or nothing sort of thing. You don't have completely secure and not secure, but as much as you can tie down your Moodles, as much as you can secure them, you should. And this security checks report is a really good start, really good first step. And there are other things, of course, that are important, like, this is a vagrant, so I'm not running HTTPS, but that would be a massive no-no for a production server. If you're not running HTTPS, start running HTTPS straight away. I would say rather than using WebShell, for example, if you need shell access and you don't have it, then change provider. But installing WebShell, that's just opening yourself up for attacks and things. And installing the wrong WebShell, the one that's not from the Moodle data provenance directory, that one, literally, if you've got this on, they've got your database, they've got your data, they've got everything, right? So, everything's compromised. If this one here is in there in your Moodle, game over, man. There's nothing secret anymore. You have no secrets. The other thing is that keep your plugins up to date. That's how you defend against them as well. Because plugins, for example, in one that I saw recently, there's the old there are known exploits for old versions of Moodle. And so, for example, if you're not protecting the private public paths, then people can find out, hackers can find out what version of Moodle you're running. And if your version of Moodle is not up to date, if you haven't been doing your git pulls and keeping your code up to date, then there are known vulnerabilities. And attackers can attack those known vulnerabilities. And again, I'm not telling the hackers anything they don't know. They already know this. The problem is that the sysadmins don't know and don't patch for them. So patch your Moodle, keep it up to date, upgrade and update as often as you can. Right? I actually recommend weekly, right? Once a week, take full backup and update completely. Yes, weekly. I know that there are people out there who don't do it that often. Hence my presentation coming up in February. Japan Moodlemoot, see you there. But anyway, these things are sort of how you can protect against this. Okay, sorry, I just paused the video just for 1 second because I thought, I'm going to show you a couple, just an example. So if you're running Nginx, for example, you might actually come in here and you might actually create another location block, right? And you might stick this above the, if we stick this in above the PHP block, it's going to look at the URL first, and if it matches this, it's going to deny access and return a 404. Right, so if somebody's trying to access, say, anything webshell.php, if there's webshell in it and it ends in PHP, block it. If it has Moodle webshell in the path, block it. If it has webshell.php, block it. If it has adminer, block it. So this is going to cut out a lot of things. So let's give this a spin, shall we? Tell you what, where did there it went. Right, so if I come up here, sudo, right, let's just stick this in here, hey? Sudo, because this is the defenses, all right? These are the sorts of defenses that you might want to put up. This is a simple one that anyone can do with a couple of lines in the Nginx config, so it's going to be a little bit different if you're in Apache. You might want to edit htaccess, or there are a couple of different ways it could be done there. I'm just going to show you it in Nginx today. Anyway, /etc/nginx/sites enabled /my vagrant, which is where it is. Okay, so let's say here I got there's my PHP location block. Above that, I'm going to just copy paste this thing that I just prepared. All right, and there it is, and it's just adding, say, anything WebShell, anything of these different paths. They're separated by pipes, which is regex way that you can say or. If it has WebShell, PHP, Moodle WebShell, WebShell Adminer, if it has any of that, just say 404. Just say no, it's not here, or can't find it, or something like that. So that's one defense that you might want to do. If I exit out of that and now go sudo system, I got to reload ctl reload nginx, and then that should do for that. So let's see, what have I've still got adminer in there, right? So now if I go to adminer 404, there is no adminer. There is no adminer. All right. If I go back and go WebShell, there is no WebShell. Right. So even if it is installed, I'm protected somewhat against it. All right. Okay. This isn't the only protection you want, but this is a good start. If I try to do that that other thing with the curl and things like that, that would be blocked by this as well, because it's got a WebShell in the path and it ends with PHP. It would be covered by that one. There are many other layers, right? Because web shells could be hidden in other places as well. They could be hidden in, say, a CSS file or something like that. So, you need to do it. Anyway, there are many other things. The number one protection, though, that I would say, and this is the point that I'd like to leave end on, is that these plugins are easiest installed by an admin. And so lock down your admins. Don't have multiple admins on a server. Don't have admins running unchecked on your server. Every admin must be super trusted. So don't have the admins in there. And the worst thing is that the people who I've helped out recently who got hacked, they didn't have a bad admin. It wasn't a naughty admin. It was an admin who had a weak password. The defense is really simple on that. Have a strong password policy. Right, and in lieu of strong password policy as well, or in addition to, right, layered security is best. It's best if you have lots and lots and lots of security coming in. The more security you can have, the better. But for example, in here you have in the changed security in the site security settings down here. You should definitely have at least, say, a default password policy of 8 characters, 1 digit, blah, blah, blah. But soup this up if you can. And what's even better, plugins, I'm going to go to plugins. What's even better is using the multi-factor authentication, if I can find it. And right now I'm having trouble finding it. MFA, where is it? Where is it? Was it in the server? Reports. There is an MFA report. Yeah, all-factor report. So you can enable multi-factor authentication, and it's too big a topic for me to do full on today. But if you haven't set this up, this is a massive help for preventing your server getting taken by. Actually, where are the MFA settings? Let me find them for you. Here we go. MFA. Manage admin tools. Manage multi-factor authentication. Okay, there it is. We're in admin tools, multi-factor authentication, manage multi-factor in plugins. Okay, so it's underneath plugins. It's going to be under admin tools, and it's going to be multi-factor authentication. Now, this is the thing where you can have a little code or something like that that appears. All right, at least for administrators. All right, you can set up a special kind of MFA for non-administrators. Boom, if it's not an administrator, bang, the weight is 100. They get straight in. But if they're an admin account, they can install WebShell, they can install Moodle Adminer, they can configure these things. Well, Authenticator app, that's one of my go-tos, right? Authenticator app, it's so simple. Everybody's got an app or something that they can use to actually do this. This is easy. And if it's too hard for your admins, then they probably shouldn't have admin access. I mean, let's be real, right? Protect your Moodles, protect your servers, put as much defense in the way as possible, because if once they get in, the problem is cleaning up a Moodle that has been hacked. Well, you got to make sure that there's absolutely no remaining WebShell code or anything like that. You've got to make sure that there's no way, nothing dirty in the database. It's a lot of work if you get hacked. Don't get hacked. Seriously, it's not going to be a happy new year if you get hacked. So prevention is worth so much more than a cure. All right, so configure, if for admin accounts, super recommend multi-factor authentication, strong password requirements, and because that's how people are getting hacked. It's not that people are getting hacked by saying, it's sort of like, your friend, you go to the bar, your friend, he ate some curry later, so he goes off to the restroom and he leaves his phone unlocked on the table. And then later on he comes back after about 2 hours because of that curry, and he comes back after 2 hours and he says, oh, my phone got hacked. It didn't get hacked. You left it open in a public place. That's not hacking. Make it hard for them. Force the bad guys to hack if they're going to get in. Don't make it easy for them to get in. Configure multi-factor authentication. Do yourself a favor and prevent yourself from getting hacked. Stay safe. And at that, I think I'm going to wrap up this video because it's already 40 minutes long. So I'll catch you in the next one. Probably in the next one, I might actually do a full-on deep dive into multi-factor authentication. That would be worthwhile doing, I think. So until then, I'll see you later. Stay secure, stay safe, and catch you next time.